For 20 years, the economic advice for young people was simple: learn to code. It was the golden ticket. If you could speak the language of computers, Python, C++, Java, you were safe. We told students that robots might take blue-collar jobs, but the cognitive, non-routine work of a programmer was safe. Well, we were wrong. We are no longer operating under that model. We have entered the era of routine, cognitive, technological change. And the data is showing something that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago. The floor of the technical labor market is collapsing. We are seeing a hollowing out of entry-level jobs, where computer science graduates now face higher unemployment rates than history majors. Today, we're going to look at the hard data behind the great rebalancing, why the technical diplomat is replacing the solitary coder. I'm Jeff Galak, a professor at Carnegie Mellon's Business School, and you're watching Galak Breaks It Down, where I provide the key insights into the latest business and global news. Today, we're talking about a massive structural shift in the US labor market, the devaluation of entry-level quantitative skills, and the sudden skyrocketing premium on soft skills. But before we get to that, you first have to understand the bubble that we just lived through. From about 2000 to 2015, we lived in the coding imperative era. The internet economy was being built, and the skills to build it were scarce. If you knew the syntax, you got paid. The returns to cognitive skills were clear. More math equaled more money. This created a specific cultural narrative. Hard or STEM skills were the only things that mattered. But starting around 2023, with the release of widespread generative AI, that dynamic broke. We shifted from skill-based technical change to something called routine cognitive technological change. Here is the reality. Generative AI has commoditized syntax. The ability to write a functional SQL query or debug a Python script, tasks that used to justify a high starting salary, can now be done by software at near zero marginal cost. Analysis shows that computer and mathematical occupations are among the most exposed to this shift, with nearly all tasks for some roles potentially being automated. This has led to a collapse in junior hiring. Entry-level software engineer postings dropped because companies don't need juniors to do the grunt work anymore. They have AI for that. This matters because it fundamentally changes the math behind hiring junior employees. Historically, a junior developer was a net negative investment for the first 6 to 12 months. They consumed senior mentorship time, but you hired them because eventually they became profitable. In the AI era, that calculus is broken. If a senior engineer using AI tools is 2 or 3 times more productive than they were before, the need for a junior to handle overflow work vanishes. Even worse, the cost of training a junior has gone up because that senior mentor's time is now incredibly valuable when leveraged by AI. So the market has raised the barrier to entry. Job postings labeled entry-level increasingly require 3 to 5 years of experience, effectively locking out true new graduates because the market is unwilling to subsidize their training. Instead of STEM, we're seeing a massive premium on soft skills. And I don't just mean being nice. I mean what economists call task trading. In a complex economy, you have to trade tasks with other people. Social skills like theory of mind, collaboration, and communication reduce the trading costs between workers. When AI handles the technical execution instantly, the bottleneck shifts to coordination. So let's go deeper into this soft skills premium because it's a bit counterintuitive. You might assume AI would increase the value of technical skills, given the need for proficiency to maximize AI's potential. But recent research suggests otherwise. The fastest growing positions are what I call double threat roles. Jobs that require both high math skills and high social skills. The worker who simply generates a report is now competing with AI. The worker who can prompt the AI to generate the report, verify it, and then effectively present it to a board of directors, that person is capturing the value. AI is a substitute for routine tasks, but a complement to social tasks. Because AI lacks empathy and accountability, humans who possess those traits become more valuable. This is also driving a move to expand job roles. As technical teams get leaner, product management responsibilities are shifting onto developers. At the same time, non-technical managers are expected to have higher technical fluency. A computer science major who moves into management sees a much steeper wage trajectory than one who remains a pure coder. The safe career path isn't just to learn to code, it's learn to lead. So let's dig even deeper and look at what I call the barbell risk of STEM degrees. First, the big ugly U word, unemployment. We are seeing a historic inversion. Unemployment rates for recent computer science and computer engineering graduates are now significantly higher than for philosophy, art history, nursing, and education, majors traditionally seen as lower demand. The so-called safe technical degree is now riskier in terms of finding any job than a philosophy degree. But here's the barbell. If you do get the job, the money is still in STEM. Engineering and computer science graduates still top the starting salary lists, often by about $30,000 a year compared to liberal arts majors. The upside is very real, but the risk of getting zero is much higher. Now let's talk about another ugly U word, underemployment. This is working in a job that doesn't require the skills of your degree. For computer science graduates, underemployment has been creeping up. It's still lower than in many other fields, but the trend is alarming for a skill set that used to guarantee utilization. This creates a strange dynamic. A CS grad is more likely to be unemployed, holding out for a tech job that might not actually exist. But a general business grad is more likely to be underemployed, taking a generic office job just to get working. And that's just when you get out of college. What about the long game? Well, mid-career salaries show a fascinating convergence. Engineers start high, but their earnings often plateau unless they move into management roles. By mid-career, the top performers from humanities and social sciences backgrounds, the ones who leverage soft skills into leadership, often out-earn the median engineering graduate because they're accumulating social and managerial capital, while engineers are fighting to keep their technical capital from becoming obsolete. So what's the big takeaway? Is the STEM degree dead? The answer is a nuanced yes, but. Demand for generic STEM degrees at the entry level is cooling, made worse by a massive supply glut. Universities have been churning out enormous number of computer science and computer engineering degrees. And frankly, the coding bootcamp model is facing its own existential crisis. Those programs focused almost entirely on syntax, the exact thing AI automates best. Enrollment is declining because the entry-level coder job they trained for is disappearing. But the degree isn't quite dead yet. It's mutating. We're moving towards a cyborg workforce, the integration of human and machine. The ideal worker of 2030 is the technical diplomat, someone with enough quantitative literacy to audit the AI and the management skills to direct it. If you're a student, my advice is this: the easy path to a middle-class tech job is closed. You can't just learn to code. You have to learn to solve problems using code, and you have to learn to deal with people. If you're an employer, watch out for the looming senior shortage. By failing to hire juniors now, you're creating a vacuum of mid-level talent for 2030 and beyond. The last 20 years prioritized the computational capability of human workers. The next 20 years will prioritize the collaborative capability of the human worker, leveraging the computational capability of the machine. As always, thanks for joining me on Galak Breaks It Down.